Welcome, welcome to Thoughts Roundup. So nice to be with you again today. Beautiful weather where I am in South Carolina right now. Enjoyed it so much, got out and played a little golf day before yesterday. All just good. I want to tell you a story today, a little short story about an old towel with holes in it. Now, how could an old towel with holes in it, ever become a story? My uncle, Oscar Dice, he was one of our great preachers. Won a lot of people to the Lord. Was a good pastor. Totally honest. He and his brother, his younger brother, Lloyd, one of his younger brothers, Lloyd Dice, which Uncle Lloyd now was not as religious as Uncle Oscar. Good man, but just not as religious. They went off down the country, as we would say in Louisiana. They went off down the country squirrel hunting. And they got a little old cheap motel to stay in while they was doing their hunting. And the day that they had killed a lot of squirrels, and they took them back up to the motel and they cleaned them, skinned them. I'll go ahead and say the word gutted them. And they were ready for the frying pan, almost. And so they needed something to wrap them in. And there was a towel that was old, been used too much, shouldn't have been in a motel. Holes in it, but clean. And Uncle Lloyd said, we'll wrap them up in that towel. He said, no, we couldn't take, Uncle Oscar said, we couldn't take that towel. He said, Oscar, I'm wrapping them up in this and I'm taking it. His old towel's tore up and everything. You don't need that. They won't miss it. So he overrode the situation and they wrapped the squirrels up in the towel. Well, that hunting trip was an annual thing. So the next year, when it got time to go hunting and to go back down through the country, they started to leave. Uncle Oscar said, Lloyd, are we going to be going by that hotel we stayed in before? Uncle Lloyd looked at him and after a long pause, he said, Oscar, you're wanting to take that old tore up towel back. My uncle said, yeah, I got to take it back. Honesty. Honesty. Honesty means so much. And I'm afraid we're losing a lot I'm afraid we're losing a lot about honesty. I remember whenever everyone thought smoking cigarettes was wrong. They're just honest. They'd say, well, I know it's wrong. I know it's a sin, but I got a habit. But now, to most of the world, it's not even wrong. Yeah, you can be a church member and smoke, I guess. That's what they'll tell you. You know, another thing, we used to knock on doors a lot. That's what we call door knocking. We'd go and talk to people about coming to church. And when you knocked on the door, they'd say, you bring up church. Well, I'm a sinner. And I know what I got to do to get right. And you pray for me and say things like that. But now, everyone that you see is saved. Boy, people bought a bill of goods. They bought into believing that you don't have to live right in order to be saved, that God's just going to save everybody regardless. No. You know, people used to, when they got saved, they took things back that they had stolen. And you know what? The people, when they took it back, they appreciated it. Wished them well. Most all the time, wished them well. Took people that had done somebody wrong would go to them and say, I've got saved and I want to tell you that I'm sorry. I want you to forgive me. Does that sound anywhere around right? That should be the norm. That shouldn't be out of normal. That should be the norm. Well, I want to do right. And I've asked the Lord to forgive me for anything I've ever done wrong, and I ask Him several times a day. And if I do wrong, I want to sense it and know it. I had not only need to be honest with everyone else, but I need to be honest with myself. Keep it where you know when you do right and when you do wrong. God bless you.